Good Saturday morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us right now. It is the weekend, Saturday, almost Saturday afternoon, and we're looking at downtown Atlanta right now. Cloudy skies, really kind of dreary, overcast start to the day. Thanks for hopping on and saying hi. I'm Megan Packer here. We'll check in with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi in just a moment. Hope your day's off to a great start. If you joined us earlier for Atlanta News First on your TV earlier this morning, you saw that it's a busy day. Lots going on both with the news and the weather. So we'll get to that forecast in just a moment. But, one of the top stories that we have been following for the past few days is this story out of Forsyth County involving an arrest 4 years after a baby was found abandoned. And we actually just watched a court appearance from this woman who is now facing charges 4 years later. The mother of the newborn, the baby has become known as Baby India. The mother went before a judge in Forsyth County just minutes ago. 40-year-old Karima Jawani is facing several charges, and we are showing you her baby here that is now almost 4 years old. And we've heard from the sheriff that the baby is doing well and healthy today and happy. But here's what just happened in court a little while ago. Jawani went before a judge. She was denied bond, so she will stay in jail right now in Forsyth County as this case proceeds through the legal system. We learned in court that she is a stay-at-home mom. She has a husband and 3 children, according to her attorney. She is a homeowner in Forsyth County. Her family owns several restaurants in the metro Atlanta area. The district attorney was saying that she wanted bond to be denied. She said that she is a flight risk, that she has family out of state, and that she could even pose a risk of intimidating witnesses, her own family members, as they were putting it, that she lives in her house with. Some new information that also came out of this court appearance. The district attorney, Penny Penn, mentioned that it appears the baby had been placed in this bag in the woods about 20 to 30 hours after being born. So we'll just kind of recap this story. Baby India was found in the woods. A family nearby heard the crying, and deputies came that night in June, nearly 4 years ago, opened the bag, found the baby, umbilical cord still attached, and saved her life. And it took years, almost 4 years, but through DNA testing, we've been reporting after that news conference yesterday with the sheriff's office, they were able to use DNA testing to link the baby to the biological father. And then one thing led to another, and they were able to track down this mother, 40-year-old Karima Jawani, who again will remain in the Forsyth County Jail. Bond is denied. The judge ended up saying that she did have concerns that she would be a flight risk. She did not want her to influence any witnesses. So again, bond is denied, and there is a June court date that we will continue to follow closely. But we know this is a story a lot of you have been following. The good news is this baby is okay. So she's almost 4 years old. We don't know the details of where she is right now, who she lives with, but this did have a happy ending that so many people are happy to hear. And now investigators are getting some resolution as well. A lot of these investigators are parents, and they said this was near and dear to their heart, and they were really looking forward to this day to get some resolution in this case. So we'll keep you updated. All right, checking some of our other headlines this morning. This is also on the DNA topic here. The DeKalb County Medical Examiner's Office actually right now is holding a free DNA collection event. They are hoping to learn more about more than 24 unidentified people. This is what they're doing. They want anybody, but especially family members of missing people, to come out and donate their DNA today for free. The goal is to match it to a missing person or identify them. Officers will be there taking new reports as well, or perhaps adding to existing ones. That drive is happening as we speak until 4 o'clock at the DeKalb County Public Library on Covington Highway in Decatur. There are 27 cold cases in DeKalb that they are hoping that this can help them solve. There was a major drug bust this week at Atlanta's airport. Nearly $1 million worth of ketamine was intercepted in a shipment that was coming in from Sweden, and it was bound for Colorado. But federal officers with Customs and Border Protection, they found it, and they stopped it before it could go on to its destination. So here's what we know about it. It was hidden in a shipment. There were more than 700 metal thermoses, and then it was also in a big trash compactor. So there are different things that catch their attention, of course, when they are looking at shipments that they maybe want to inspect or put a second set of eyes on. And one of the things with this was, okay, we've got one big, large trash compactor being sent in from out of the country. Why is someone sending this from Sweden to Colorado? Well, one thing led to another, and they had this discovery. So it was almost 100 pounds of ketamine. Ketamine is known on the street as Special K. It's known as a club drug to authorities. Authorities also say it can be used in sexual assaults. It's a sedation drug used in animals and humans. So right now there's a federal investigation. Now that they have these drugs, they will destroy them, but they are, of course, digging into who sent it and where it was going. All right, if you are in Roswell, this has been an ongoing debate about what is happening with Canton Street. You may have a chance to weigh in before the city closes part of Canton Street. A spokesperson for some businesses there say that city leaders have agreed to create a task force about this. They say it's a way to address concerns about closing a portion of that street to create a promenade concept in the city's downtown district. The mayor says that the goal is to keep people safe, but business owners say closing part of Canton Street would negatively impact them. We've talked about this for the past few weeks, that there had been a plan there in Roswell to make it, pedestrian-friendly, promenade, close a small section of Canton Street to traffic. But people who have their businesses there say that it would hurt their bottom line, and that, they need to have a little more discussion, and they want to have their voices heard before the city just goes ahead and shuts down that stretch of road right in front of their businesses. All right, tonight it is time for the 2023 Lantern Parade. It's happening on the Beltline's new West End, and while you're out there, look at this. You can check out this new pop-up bar. This is the Solar Bar, and it's in a shipping container. It is a partnership between Lee & White, Monday Night Brewing, ASW Distillery, and Velo Solar. The pop-up bar is completely off the grid. It's powered by the sun. The panels harness up to 4,000 watts hourly, with the excess stored to maintain power throughout the night. So if you are out there tonight, you can check it out for the Lantern Walk. And as far as what to expect if you're going out to the Lantern Parade, we'll check in right now with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi, because we know there are a lot of outdoor activities happening, and there's a First Alert in place. Courtney's been keeping us updated on that all morning long. So I will bring Courtney in. We need to talk about rain and if it will impact people's forecast. How is it looking? I know this has been a few different tricky models to navigate with this one.
Yeah, and finally I think they're starting to come together, which is good, because it's one thing when they are struggling just, several hours out, or a couple of days out, but it's another thing when they are struggling quite a bit just a few hours out. Makes it a little difficult to give you the forecast, but I do think that models are starting to finally figure it out. So we're going to talk about it. Unfortunately, if you have any evening plans, they do look to be disturbed by the weather. We're going to talk about that. Hopefully your Saturday's been off to a good start, despite the fact that it's pretty dreary looking outside. If you've stepped out the door, I know our director was saying her daughter said, "Mom, it kind of, rained a little on me." Well, it was really misty this morning, and that's thanks to a wedge. And this has been the culprit for our really tricky forecast. So we talk about these all the time here in North Georgia. When an area of high pressure settles to our northwest like that, our northeast, we have wind coming out of the northeast around it, which pulls in cooler, more stable air. But to have one this strong, this far out, you might notice we've been a little cooler the past couple of afternoons than where we should be. When you have one of these this strong in effect this late in the year, that's abnormal. So the way I've been describing it through the morning is, think about if you were handed a strange task at your job, one that you don't typically handle in the day-to-day. You'd probably take a little longer to figure it out, right? Well, the models are pretty much doing the same thing. Their job every day is to analyze what's happening in the atmosphere and what's happening at the surface and in all levels of the atmosphere, and give you an output of what to expect for the day, rain-wise, temperature-wise, cloud-wise. And when they have something that's not really normal, they kind of take a little while to figure it out too. So that's kind of been the story today, but I do think finally models are starting to figure out what's going on and expect scattered showers and storms tonight, which is a first alert. Our first alert is a heads up to let you know to expect rain and storms. So as we head towards 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I want to make you aware in far northwest Georgia, our far western counties, we are going to be watching for a few isolated cells out ahead of our main line of storms. It does look like we are going to have enough wind shear in the atmosphere. That's that change in wind direction and speed with height, which is an ingredient needed for tornadic activity. Now, I don't think tornadoes are a huge threat today, but I don't think a brief spin up can be completely ruled out. So we'll be watching especially far west Georgia, far north and west Georgia for maybe a brief spin up out ahead of our main line of storms today. But again, very low end threat. And our severe threat as a whole with that wedge in place, that's going to provide slightly more stable air. The big question now is when does that erode? When does that lose influence of our forecast? And how much fuel for storms can we ultimately get today? But either way, expect the chance at least for an isolated strong to severe storm today. So as we head towards 7 o'clock in the evening, if you have any dinner plans tonight, our suburbs north of the city all covered in rain. It's going to be a rainy evening. And as we head towards sunset tonight, that's when the broken line of storms will move through downtown and areas northeast of the city. I think if you're in the North Georgia mountains, because of that wedge in place, I think you're going to be influenced by that pretty much all day long. So I don't think severe storms are possible the further north and east you go of the city. But for downtown Atlanta, it is possible through the evening. Rain and storms will impact the city through about 11 o'clock at night. We're going to give that time frame between around 8 and 11. So unfortunately, for things like the Lantern Parade, for the Braves game tonight in town at in Cobb County at Truist Park, I do think that there is the potential for rain and storms. I don't think it's necessarily going to cancel the game, but it just might delay the game. And then for the Lantern Parade, unfortunately, it does look pretty stormy for a good duration of that. Now, the front will move off to East Georgia through the overnight hours. Could still have a few storms at this point. I think our severe threat should diminish, but we'll still be watching for some gusty wind and heavy rain and frequent lightning. Here's a look at that severe threat today. So mainly along and west of 75 is where we're going to be looking. Again, if you are in the North Georgia mountains, I don't think you're going to experience severe thunderstorms. You still could have some rumbles of thunder, but storms should stay below severe limits for you. We'll be looking for damaging winds and severe storms. It's 58 miles per hour or greater. We could potentially have some isolated hail in some of these storms, especially in West Georgia. 1-inch diameter hail is the parameter for severe storms. And then again, maybe a brief tornado. The latest outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, which gives us these outlooks here on a level 1 to 5 scale. They also break it down into individual threats, and they did nudge that tornado threat into parts of places like Floyd County and Chattooga County. So just again, a heads up in far north and west Georgia. We'll be watching you pretty carefully through the day today for maybe some rotation. Here's a look at the Lantern Parade forecast. So kicks off tonight. Unfortunately, that solar bar, which is super cool. Love to see something that's solar powered. We love the conservation of energy. I think that's fantastic. Not going to be a lot of sunshine today, unfortunately, to power that up, but I think it'll still work regardless. We could see some peaks of sunshine through the afternoon, but more clouds than sun today. As we head towards 8 o'clock, scattered showers will be possible, and then those storms roll in, especially between 9 and 10 o'clock, and we'll keep that chance for rain even into 11. Might even bump that rain coverage up to 40% around 11 o'clock. So today, low 80s for the forecast. If you're north of the city, you'll be a little cooler, upper 70s near 80 for Sunday with maybe a few scattered showers. Sunday looks drier. We'll see a little more sunshine tomorrow. So Sunday, definitely the better day to get out and about and do things. Of course, we have lots of farmers markets on Sunday. That's always a lot of fun. Probably want to get the kids out to run out their energy. And you can do that today. Most of the day will be dry today. It'll just be the evening where, again, we have that first alert for the cold front that will bring rain and storms, maybe an isolated severe storm. So as we head into the start of the week, we're going to stay slightly unsettled. We'll keep a small chance for rain. Models are struggling with this. The rain chance for the start of the week is really going to depend on where the front stalls out. If the front stalls a little further north, our rain coverage goes up on Monday and Tuesday. But if the front stalls out a little further south away from us, then we're drier. Right now, we're just going to keep a small coverage for showers on Monday and Tuesday with temperatures generally in the mid 70s, so cooler for this time of year because believe it or not, we'll have another wedge built in, which is going to make us cooler than average. Average is low 80s, which we will go back to by Thursday. So got to get through a couple of rainy days, a couple of mostly cloudy days. We'll see more sunshine come Wednesday, and then it looks like Thursday and Friday will be mostly sunny, really nice, comfortable morning, nice and warm afternoon. So looking ahead to the end of the week for sure. All right, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day. Can't can't stress enough, a great day to have a way to receive weather warnings just in case we do have any severe storms today. With the rain and storms in the forecast, the First Alert Weather app will literally let you know if heavy rain is in your area, if lightning is in your area within 10 miles or so. So you'll get those extra early heads up if you are just out and about enjoying your night. It's a good idea to have something that will give you a heads up so you can kind of head inside or make your way home, pack up what you're doing so you don't get rain or stormed on. No one wants to do that on a Saturday night. Definitely not in the cards, right? Definitely not in your game plan. So First Alert Weather app is a great tool. We've been updating it. I've been updating it all morning long. And First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin will be here updating it for you all afternoon long. I hope you make it a great Saturday. Thanks so much for spending some time with us, and we'll catch you here next time.